So we have posts and we have pages, and they seem to be quite similar, and they actually are. But when should we then use posts and when should we use pages? Well, let's start by looking at the differences. Posts, to them you can add, what differs from pages is that you can add categories and tags. They are some kind of keyword that you attach both categories and tags. Categories is you have the possibility to add them in a hierarchy, so you can have a hierarchical structure of the categories. The tags are kind of a flat structure. Pages, on the other hand, well, they don't have categories nor tags, but they can be arranged in a hierarchy by themselves, so you can add sub-pages to a page. And you can also have the possibility to add them automatically to the top level. So that means that if you insert a top level page, well, then it will show up as a menu item in your menu. So these are the differences, and that gives us a little bit of clues on when to use posts and when to use pages. Because posts are these typical news items or the blogs and stuff like that, but you can also use them for other stuff. Let's say, for example, that you would like to show all your employees, all your staff in a listing. Well, then each person employed in the company can have their own post, and then you use the categories to say that this is the staff category. Because then when you create the staff listing page, well, then you can say, I just would like to list all posts belonging to category staff. You can, of course, add plugins that lets you add a specific post type that is staff and not use categories for that. And that might be better in some situations, and a lot of plugins actually do that, because when you get this new event or when you get this new product or whatever, they usually save into the table where the posts are saved, but with a specific post type. But we leave it at that. So let's look at how we could do this. So if I go to our site, at the moment I have added just 4 posts here that have the category of staff. So I created a category called staff, and then I added these 4 posts here. They kind of no info. I just set up a featured image and name, and then some nonsense text. So let's create this staff listing page then. So I add a new page. I call this staff, and at the moment I'm going to use the built-in, let's say I would like to have a post list, and there is a built-in post listing block. If this is not to your satisfaction, well, then there are a lot of plugins that offer post listing blocks, and then you can sort them in all directions, and you can get a lot of different layouts and so on and so forth. But today I'm going to use the built-in post listing. But remember that if this is not to your satisfaction, then there are several plugins that adds new post listing blocks. So the built-in, at the moment it works like this. I have a couple. First I need to select the design for this one. There are a couple of different designs. This one has no image, so I'll go back to maybe that one. I chose that one. Then there are a couple of settings that I need to do. I need to first say how many items should I show per page, because if you have thousands of employees, then you don't want to list 1,000 on one page. You need to have, well, if you have thousands, then maybe you need a different structure. But at the moment, let's say that we would like to display at most 10 on this page. And at the bottom here, you can also say I would like to show a maximum pages, so you don't have more pages. Because if you have news, for example, then maybe you can show 10 per page and then 10 pages, because apart from that, older news might not be that interested anymore. So then you can have some kind of archive if you really would like to get to the old news. But let's leave it like that. But we do have a problem here now, because I have all the stuff here, but if I continue to scroll, well, then it says first post ever and hello world. These do not belong to the staff category, so I need to fix that one. And that I fix when I have this query loop that is called at the moment selected. I can change that in this pane. And again, if you have clicked somewhere into this one, well, then to get back to the query loop, you can bring up the list view and bring up that one. And again, if you would like to change the post template in some way, well, then you can grab that one, but that has no settings at the moment. It will probably have in then. But what we would like to do is that in the query loop, if I scroll down, I have the filters down here. Then I would like to just have the staff category. And now if I scroll, you see that I only see the staff here. So if I publish this one, and this page is now live, so I can look at the page, and here I have all my staff. And as it was a top level item, it also went into the menu. So now we employ a new person here. So let's go to new post. And then we add a featured image for him, and we employed John. So we set that one up, and then we have John here, and then we have some info about John. And if we now go to the post, set it to the correct category and publish, then this is the only thing we need to do actually, because if I go back to my site and go to the staff page, you see that John is already there. And if someone leaves, if Mark leaves the company, well, then we can just remove his post, and the staff page will take care of itself. We might though have a problem with the ordinary blog that is presented on the front page at the moment, because maybe we don't want to present all the stuff here. We want these kind of blog posts instead, and then we need to remake that one and use a post listing for that also, and then select we just would like to list posts that belong to the blog category, for example.